Sai Ram, I am a volunteer of Sai Krushna Charitable Trust, and as a fellow volunteer, it gives me great pleasure and privilege in welcoming you, another fellow volunteer, into the activities of Sai Krushna Charitable Trust. Thank you so much for joining in. And in this quick introduction, I'd like to give you an overview of the trust, how it was formed, the activities that are undertaken, and of course, most importantly, opportunities for you to volunteer irrespective of where you are, what your belief systems are, and irrespective of what skill sets you may have. So let's quickly jump into this journey together. So Sai Krushna Charitable Trust was founded in the year 2010 with the direct guidance and the directions of Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. These were given in Prashanthi Nilayam between the years of 2008 and 2011, and today it is registered as a public charitable trust with a 12A and 80G exemption. Many of you would be happy to know that it was Bhagavan himself who named this trust as Sai Krushna Charitable Trust. And if you're wondering why Krishna is spelt with Krushna, well, Swami himself said that that is the right way to spell it. Swami gave the seed funding for this trust. He gave the first 1,000 rupees with his own hands as the seed funding for the trust. He oversaw the registration of the trust, was involved in the selection of the first trustees, and was very clear and direct in a lot of things that the trust needed to do in the future, including the setting up of a children's home, the taking up of a free school, and so on. Today we have many alumni of the Sri Sathya Sai institutions and other premier institutions like IITs, IISc, IIMs and so on involved in the Seva activities. And what's more, there are lots of volunteers who've signed up, and these are people from across the globe, whether they're sitting in Japan, in Sri Lanka, in India, or in the US, in Europe, or in any part of the world for that matter. And all that's needed today for you to be a volunteer is your availability and willingness to volunteer. So what does the Sai Krushna Charitable Trust do? Well, there are multiple projects that the trust is now involved in. The first of them is Sai Krushna Vidya Mandir, which is a free school for rural children, and this over the last multiple years has had nearly 7,500 students graduating from its portals. The SKCT, as Sai Krushna Charitable Trust is known, took over the school in the year 2011, and it was in January 2011 that Swami directly commanded this to be taken up as a school run under SKCT. This school is typically for first generation schoolgoers, and most of these students have never had their parents or grandparents visiting any school itself. So it's a huge challenge in terms of educating them. Today it's an English medium school also, and a lot of the activities that we are doing or going to discuss here will essentially revolve around the school. The next big project of the trust, again around educare and upskilling, is known as Project 3H Catalyst, where 3H stands for head, heart and hand. And this is an effort to improve the employability so that many government college students are able to get into good jobs. As part of this, SKCT has already signed an MOU with a couple of governments, the government of Karnataka, the government of Pondicherry, and we're working closely with a very large number of students, nearly about 20,000 plus students, and we look to work with more students and improve their employability. The Sai Krishna Arogya Dham is the primary healthcare center of the trust. We essentially serve about 30 villages in and around this village known as Hosadodi, where the Arogya Dham is located. The Arogya Dham provides completely free medical care, medical consultation, and completely free medicines to everybody who comes in. And again, we strongly believe that it is not just medicine which cures people, but also preventive healthcare, and of course the doctor's smile and care. All of this is integrated beautifully in the Sai Krishna Arogya Dham. The fourth project is Sai Krushna Mandir, which is the children's home for underprivileged boys. Today we have about 10 boys living in Sai Krushna Mandir These are boys who have come into the children's home at a young age, who might have lost their parents or are single parent children, and many of them have had traumatic backgrounds. But today, with Swami's love and care being experienced at the Sai Krushna Mandir, many of them have now slowly started developing into good, loving, responsible teenagers. Of course, needless to mention, all of this Seva is 100% free to all the beneficiaries. So what are our focus points? We spoke about the school in particular, so I think let's quickly jump into that. We do believe a lot in peer-to-peer learning among youth, which we call as PLAY. We have some of our volunteers actually working closely in this area, and we've also had some international journals in which some of the work we are doing with respect to peer-to-peer learning has been published. You know what? As volunteers, we strongly believe in peer-to-peer learning too. And so if you have ideas which you want to share with others, well, this is a great forum, because I'm waiting to learn eagerly from you, and I'm sure that you're looking to eagerly learn from many others too. Yes, the next focus area of the school is definitely ensuring good nutrition and health, so that then leads to better education. So we have got a partnership with both the Sai Annalakshmi Foundation and also the Akshay Patra Foundation in terms of ensuring that there is good nutritional care for all the students who come to the school. Everybody gets a free midday meal and they get good vegetables to go along with it. We are strong believers in systems and technology to the extent that it can improve the performance of how we serve others. There are a lot of organizations we've partnered with, definitely organizations, like All Tricks for Good, which have enabled us to be able to improve the way we deliver a lot of the Seva that we do. We are strong believers in holistic education as a trust. What we would like to do is to ensure that children not just get good academic education, but also develop into responsible citizens as per Bhagavan's guidance on holistic education. And of course, all of this leading to better opportunities and better educational standards. You would be really happy to know that the Sai Krishna Vidya Mandir school today is a very sought after school, not just because education is free, but more importantly because it is delivered with the highest standard that we're able to at the current point of time, and we continuously look to improve on what we're offering as our loving offering to Swami. Well, here are some success stories which keep inspiring us to continue and move forward. In terms of individual success, as you can see, right, the girl on top is a girl from one of the villages right here, and that's how she probably spends her daytime during COVID times or other times, which is helping on the field. Today she is a national prize winner in maths competitions. In the bottom on the right, we have a boy who lost his parents early. He lives in the children's home. He came as a 3-year-old, as a second standard boy, as a 7-year-old into the children's home. And you know what? This boy has seen his mother hang from a tree. But no, he wouldn't let that completely trouble him. Today, this boy is a shining example of excellence, winning national level prizes across competitions held by the ISRO, Putani Vigyana, and so on. In terms of institutional success, we've been winning a fair number of trophies, such as the Best School Trophy in the vicinity. And this is in competing with schools which are ICSE or CBSE based, where the fee structures are obviously significantly larger than it would be in a completely free school, of course. But needless to say, all of this goes to show the passion of the teachers and volunteers who are involved in trying to improve the school. But I think what gives us the greatest satisfaction is that there is a massive ripple effect of what we're doing. Just as we do Gram Seva in Parthi, we've also been doing Gram Seva in the village here, where we go around home to home, distributing Swami's prasadam during Swami's birthday time. And this prasadam might be in the form of a sari, dhoti, an emergency light, or something of use for the entire home, right? A set of vessels and so on. Each year there's a different one. This is a gala function, let me tell you, right? The Gram Seva and the birthday function of Swami. In fact, Swami's birthday is now becoming a village festival here, where every single home puts a rangoli outside their home to welcome Swami. And seeing all of this, Many of the alumni of our school who are now beginning to graduate from the school, they've started, doing well in their lives. They come back to the school and they want to distribute pencils or notebooks or textbooks back to the students of the school as their offering of love back to their alma mater. Isn't that amazing? Well, here are a few pictures from different prizes that students have been winning. We've got some of those trophies dedicated towards higher causes than just academic excellence or just a basic all-round performance. So there are special prizes, for example, for best behavior. There is a huge trophy there which is for the best humane values that a student might have exhibited. For example, can you ensure that two students don't simply get into a fight? Can you be a peacemaker? Can you be someone who stands for truth? Are you someone who will follow the rules and ensure that even people around you follow rules? Well, these are the virtues which make a great citizen, isn't it? And we as a school believe that it's our duty to foster the same. The students also get wonderful opportunities to take part in cultural competitions, and you can see a quick snap of it on the right. And all of these, I think, essentially lead to saying that if given an opportunity, each one of these students is not just capable of becoming a wonderful citizen, but probably a great contributor to India's future too. Well, COVID-19 came and completely disrupted the way a lot of things were done globally. And our school, our villages, our country, I think none of them were left untouched by it, right? And at the same time, it presented a huge opportunity for many of us to jump onto the field. I think the one thing that a lot of us asked ourselves were, well, if not at the time of this pandemic, when is it that we would serve, right? If not now, then when? And that kind of got us going. So we initially started saying, there are a lot of people who are displaced from their work. Can we ensure that they don't go hungry? So we started going home to home, distributing a few ration kits. All that we thought was, let's stay available. We don't know in what way Swami might make use of our presence. That was the only thing we went forward with. We had no clue on, what form of service we would really be able to render. Gradually, we found that a lot of migrants were actually beginning to walk back to their hometowns. And so we started taking a few theplas, which is methi rotis, for them to eat on their way. And this started off with, taking something like 30-40 packets of chapatis for them to eat. Very soon, the size and scale of this entire Seva got magnified to an extent that none of us ever dreamt of. You wouldn't believe it, but over the months of March, April, May, June, July of 2020, we were literally involved in reaching lakhs of migrants. We were able to serve thousands of doctors with food. We were able to set up police help desks working closely with the administration in terms of facilitating travel for migrants. We could get an opportunity to work closely with government hospitals in terms of testing people for COVID. There were nearly 250 of us, all of us having an opportunity to be on the field every single day. And the best part of it, at this time when everybody was so afraid of the COVID virus, it was completely Swami's grace that absolutely none of us fell ill even once. Well, isn't that a true testimony to the fact that those who get into the service of everyone, nature has a unique way, God has a unique way of taking care of them. We're so grateful to Swami for this tremendous opportunity. Well, if you're feeling that you missed out on something, don't worry. There are lots of things you can do, and this time you can do all of this remotely. Well, when you can work from home, then why not do Seva also from home, right? So this is a huge Seva from home opportunity. And this again, we started off on the health side where we said we would create awareness pamphlets and videos. We were also instrumental in working closely with the Victoria Hospital, which is Karnataka's leading COVID care center. We could work closely with them to set up the first free plasma helpline, the first free plasma bank for Karnataka. But today what we're going to talk to you about is more on the education side. As we already mentioned, that the Sai Krushna Charitable Trust runs a completely free school, and during COVID this was a time when absolutely none of these students were reachable because they were all at their homes. They did not have high-speed internet. They did not have devices with which we could conduct live calls. So what could be a way to reach them? One of the volunteers came up with an idea saying, you know what? It looks like at least every home will have one smartphone thanks to smartphone penetration in India. That turned out to be quite true. Nearly 85% of all homes had at least one smartphone with the parent. So we said, can we make simple, small, bite-sized videos which is related to their curriculum and share it with these students via WhatsApp? Well, and so the journey started. We started quickly training our teachers. Many of them had never used a computer. So there was training starting off with how do you use a computer, to how do you make a PPT, to how do you record a video, and then how do you send it on WhatsApp. Will you believe it that in the last 8 months or so, nearly 2,500 videos have been made. These videos go through what's known as a qualification process. Well, many of you will get involved in that today. And by the end of this session, you would have already qualified a few videos and contributed very meaningfully to the lives of many rural children. Qualification is a very simple test that videos undergo where we are able to recognize whether it is fit to go forward to editing or whether it should be sent back to the content creator. Once qualified, a video undergoes what's known as editing to improve its audio-visual clarity. And once that is done, well, the video is ready to be published on WhatsApp in the school WhatsApp class groups which have been created. We were obviously not just satisfied with this because we thought that there are a lot of rural children who are probably missing out on this facility, which thanks to so many volunteers, amazing volunteers like you, that we were able to create all these videos. So again, it was another volunteer who suggested saying, why don't we post all of these on YouTube and make it universally accessible? Well, and that's how more than 2,000 videos are already on the Sai Krushna Charitable Trust YouTube channel. Well, all of this was remarkable, no doubt. But what we were not getting here was feedback from the students. So in order to arrive at that too, what we did is we have now engaged with a tool called Class Marker, which is a quiz tool where we're able to conduct lots of quizzes for students to take. And these students can be graded in terms of difficulty, can be tested in terms of time, and you can allow a student to attempt a test multiple times. And we're now able to look at analytics delivered via this Class Marker platform, which let us know which student is weak in which topic. It tells us was a particular topic the weak point of multiple students in a class, and hence give that feedback back to the content creators to say, you know what, these students may not have really understood this particular topic. So let's go ahead and make another video to essentially ensure that they learn that well. This was of course useful, but we still felt that we missed that personal touch of the classroom. And that's where the virtual parent connect got into place. So the virtual parent connect is a very, very interesting concept where we have each student mapped to one of our volunteers who functions as the virtual parent for that particular ward. Now this virtual parent functions in 3 particular roles. The first is as a virtual parent, where you try to understand the family background, the context of the child, and try and see what else the child needs in order to improve their performance. Of course, you do not need to worry about the financial aspects of it. It's only from an educational standpoint. The next is as a virtual tutor. This same virtual parent tries to explain certain concepts that the student might not have understood. And the third role is that of a virtual mentor, where you try to understand the strengths, the weaknesses, the goals, the ambitions, the challenges of the child, and knit all that together in the form of a beautiful career plan. There is somebody who wants to be a policeman, somebody a bus driver, somebody who wants to be an IAS officer, somebody who wants to be a teacher. How do you ensure that each of these people can move forward on their respective career paths in a meaningful way? Well, the Virtual Parent Connect plays a beautiful role. And you know what? You are going to be now introduced to each one of these activities. We'll be starting off with qualification, but very soon you could be part of any and all of them. And that's wonderful, isn't it? Sitting right at your home, all you need is a laptop with internet connectivity, and you could make a huge difference to the lives of so many people. Well, I don't intend to stand between you and your volunteering opportunity for sure. I'm sure you're going to get back and say that this was fun. But here are 5 things that we really learned. We call it the ABCDE of volunteering at SKCT. And we'd love that you get a brief understanding of it. The first thing, right? Many people come with a question saying, I'm interested to volunteer, but I don't know if I have the skill sets. Well, we've seen from our experience with Migrant Seva and all the other Seva opportunities that your availability alone is most important. It's our job to ensure that you be trained on the necessary skills, so please don't worry on that count. The second things, well, I might have different belief systems I would like to serve. Can I serve? Well, we'd like to let you know that we are completely agnostic and respectful of everyone's individual faith. What any volunteer does beyond volunteering here is absolutely none of our business, as long as it is not classified as immoral or illegal by the government of India. Yes, as a team, we do celebrate Seva. We respect selfless Seva wherever and whoever does it, and anyone keen to do Seva is most welcome to volunteer here. Our dictum is very straightforward, that in trying to follow Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, our leader, we believe that Manava Seva is Madhava Seva. We believe that everyone has a one-to-one connect with their inner truth or God, and there are no intermediaries needed in this entire process. Well, how do you excel at Seva here? Very, very simple three things, right? Focus on Seva, ask questions, give suggestions, work closely with peers, but be relevant to the task that you're taking up. And most important, you're here for Seva, we're all here for Seva. Let's not get distracted by other forms of gossip and discussion on unnecessary matters. Let's just continue to stay focused on Seva, and I'm sure that together we are and will continue to make a difference. Thank you so much for going through this brief introduction. We hope that this has been helpful. Beyond this, any other queries, we will be happy to take it on. But at the same time, we request you to stay focused on Seva. The training sessions will continue shortly and help you to get started with whatever you might want to do. Thank you so much. Sai Ram.